up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
Well, I know why I always can't sleep the night before, because we have the most incredible people in the world that come on the Eliances Heroes show. We get the opportunity to ask them questions that you've asked us to ask them, and it's just phenomenal. And by the way, thank you for the feedback we continue to have from having the founder of Reputation.com and Heroic Ventures. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. All right, so what do? You're going through your attic, you're going through your closet, you find something and you go, should I throw it out, or is it worth something because it looks a little unique? Well, I've had that personal experience. So you do a Google search and stuff and you try to get an idea. But really, where can you go to get over 15 years of data and really be able to pinpoint what that value is worth? Well, we've got the CEO of WorthPoint, and you can reach him at WorthPoint.com. Will Seippel. Will, welcome to the show. I got to get right into it. Listen, my son's got a Babe Ruth ball, and before we got it, first thing we did was go to your site to try to figure out maybe what this thing is worth. Your system works. You've got it. How did you, come up with this of saying there's got to be a place besides somebody just searching the Google and trying to find out what something's worth? You've actually developed the whole system.
I grew up collecting, and I love collecting, and I love learning. Fast forward in an econ degree, learning about the price of things and obscurity, supply and demand, and then seeing my mother downsizing after my dad died and getting paid nothing for really cool things she was selling in the driveway. So I said, people need tools to be able to find out the worth of something.
Yeah, but your background, you've got just a phenomenal background. You were the CEO of several billion-dollar businesses. You oversaw 2 IPOs, 2 Institution Investor Deal of the Year awards, and that's just for breakfast. So, what was the thing of okay, I've got to start this WorthPoint? At what point was the thing is I'm going to do it now?
Well, I was a closet entrepreneur. That's what I call us, that get started late in life. And that in my 40s, I started getting tired of dealing with boards, being asked to do things. You scratch your head and say, is that really the correct thing to do? And, that it was funny. It started working for Mr. Cheney after he bought our company when he was head of Halliburton. And that so in my 40s, I spent the time thinking of the idea I wanted to go do. And at 50, I set out start my own company. I was bored. I'd done all these things. What are you going to do next? And I said, I'm going to do a startup company.
That's amazing. Talk to me about in the eBay world, which I've been extremely involved with from when they had started, is you're known as the longtime power seller. How big is the market of people getting something valued that need to know what it's worth versus just putting it up on eBay and starting it at 99 cents and letting it ride?
Well, it's an interesting question. I think the stuff market, and that's what I call it, the stuff market, is $500 billion a year around the world. $500 billion. And eBay has made that a liquid market where it used to take 5 or 6 flips for something from a seller to find a buyer. But eBay made it possible to become a very quick market where buyer and seller could meet each other of really odd items. And that market is $500 billion worldwide.
Incredible. And you know what also too is so popular and worth a lot? Listening to the Eliances Heroes show with me, host David Cogan. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com to check out some of our past interviews, because we have with us now Will Seippel, the CEO of WorthPoint. We're talking over 160 daily searches. All right, Will, I'm going to ask you, share some secrets. What's some of the most popular searches on your site?
Often people look at what has been on TV with a lot of shows. So one time people were looking for vomit sticks, and I didn't know what that was, David. But there was a murder committed on Mafia show or something with a vomit stick. But people love sports. They love toys. and they really want to come in and find out the value of them, like you did with your Babe Ruth ball.
And what is the target, would you say? I mean, is it seniors that are using your items? Is it millennials that is using your sites? Who's the target?
Our average user is 40 and above, but it will stretch some down a little below that. They have above average income and actually above average education. So we haven't promoted doing ads on the site, but it's a really good target market and a really well-moneyed target market.
What's surprising?
But by the way, even the IRS uses us.
The IRS?
The IRS.
That's why you don't get audited.
Yeah. So, check your valuations before you deduct them on WorthPoint. And my insurance company was even using. I found out I had a flood in my basement, and the Amica rep said, "I'm not stalking you, but I know who you are because I use your product."
Oh, man, that's absolutely amazing. What are some of the other things that you've been surprised of the value that you've seen show up on your site?
Gosh, I found a turkey call I was valuing myself, and the only place I could find it was on WorthPoint. And I had bought it, buying out, and the guy said, "Fill your car at my house for $10,000. I did, and one of the things I got home and had in there was a turkey call that was valued at $27,000. Well, that's what I sold it for. I found it on WorthPoint for $15,000.
Nobody would believe it. Now, you've had such a successful history in business. Clearly, you're smart. You've done so much. Again, we're talking about, you negotiated 20 plus acquisitions, 3 that companies listed on the NASDAQ. We talked about overseeing 2 IPOs, and the list just goes on and on. What are some of the magics that you could share in regards to how does someone learn that to be able to navigate through this whole thing of life called a career?
Well, I tell people I didn't drop out of my mom's womb knowing all this stuff. And, contrary to popular belief. And you really have to be open to learning, I'm 63, but I work every day with 20-year-old tech people. And it doesn't bother me that they're 20 or I'm learning from them. I go on and learn about different types of antiques every day. And you got to stay mentally young. But I was telling one of our people today, one of the things I do every morning is that I started in high school is I still weightlift. And it gives you an incredible amount of energy if you exercise. And so you got to be open to learning. You got to, exude energy, and you need to exercise.
So you start the site, WorthPoint. It's now, again, the place to go to find out how much things are worth. How do you, though, when you start it, get people to go to it and actually use it?
Well, I was worried about that. I mean, we started as an ad-based Drupal company. And in 2007, 2008, with the recession, I realized that ads weren't going to cut it. And so we switched to subscriptions, rewrote the site in Grails. And that the first day we charged for subscriptions, 38 people paid us. And I figured if they weren't willing to pay, let's shut the site down now. But we effectively use SEO. We're going to grow by somewhere between 40 and 80% this year. And we don't do any sales and marketing yet. And we do all our growth off of SEO and grooming and running a clean site. We have about 1.5 billion pages.
Fantastic. All right, tell me about the secrets, though, that you would share with children, though, about creating worth and knowing what to keep and knowing what to give away, especially, right, as kids move on through life, they're going to college, parents come in, they're like, okay, we're ready to just throw out everything.
Don't. I was doing that to my kids, but I was smarter and from running this type of business. And that one of the things I found that my son had never opened, my older son, was a Lego of Darth Maul. And I forget exactly what it was worth, but it was in the thousands. That it was a very high-end. I believe I bought it at Spencer's or the New York Toys Company. I forget what their name is, but anyway, that the thing was worth in the thousands.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if you had known that, if you had thrown that out and then went to the site. Oh well,
but check the stuff. Go on there. I mean, we give you 10 free lookups or something, or 7, and you can look it up for free or use it for a month, and it costs you about $20. And you can go through your basement stuff that quickly if you want, or if you want to buy it by the year, it's $200. But just this one item will make up that price real quick. But a lot of people are afraid to give up that money, or they're afraid, that the company's going to keep billing them if they don't want it and stuff. But no, not here, and you're safe, and stuff is worth a lot of money.
Well, that's phenomenal. Well, Will, you're open to learning. That's right. You've turned your passion into a mission. You help people understand what the value is and how much something's worth. That's a hero. Will Seippel, CEO and founder of WorthPoint. Make sure you go to WorthPoint.com. This has been David Cogan with Eliances.